Hello, movies are us. This is the concession stand.
Hi, I'd like a popcorn, and I'm also wondering if you've ever heard of this guy, Giannis Antetokounmpo.
No, what the heck is that?
I know what the sport basketball is. Like, I've heard of it, but I don't know the names of the players. I'm sorry. Apparently, I should have, and I feel a little bit like an idiot living in Milwaukee since he is a legendary basketball player here, winning the MVP, has broken so many records, will go down as one of the greatest players in history, and he's here in my hometown, and such a celebrated, lovely guy. And his story, his life story of that, and his brothers, who are also in the NBA, some of whom are in the NBA also, and his parents and their struggle from Greece to America is all now the source material for a new biopic streaming today on Disney Plus called Rise.
Wow. See, I mean, boy, you couldn't ask for a better time for this movie to come out because of the NBA championships just recently played, and then last night it was all about the NBA draft. This is perfect timing.
It is really, really good timing. And like the town here where I'm at is just in a fervor. I've been on the news all week, Harold.
So everybody's all excited about it then?
Yeah, I'm actually more concerned about Disenchanted, the Enchanted sequel that's coming out in November with Idina Menzel and Amy Adams, and all of Milwaukee is like, we don't care. Oh. And I'm like, okay, let's talk about this basketball movie. It's so funny, but I have learned so much about Giannis and his family, and let me tell you, first of all, this movie is great. I love sports movies. I'm obviously not a sports fan. I actually do like basketball in terms of attending live sports versus any other sport, but again, very embarrassed to admit that I was not familiar with this guy. And now I feel like I could write a book about him and his family. The movie Rise is phenomenal, and it details it's equal parts a basketball and a sports movie and a story about the struggles of their family going through immigration from Nigeria to Greece, never really getting access to full citizenship, all the difficulties there. But it's like any live action Disney film, it hits all of the right beats. It's inspirational. It has teachable moments. It's about family and loyalty, perseverance, having a dream that you go after and make come true. Like, it's the perfect Disney film. And then anything you know about these actual guys, Giannis, his brother Thanasis, they are the nicest guys. They walk the walk. They are the kindest. Like, anyone on the street will tell you here, except for me apparently, who knows them, that they are the most approachable, kindest, most generous, sweet. So it could not, this kind of success could not have happened to two, better guys or a better family.
Did they do a premiere right there in Milwaukee?
They are doing one for, it's not a world premiere. They had their world premiere, but I think in LA, but they are doing a special screening. They did an advanced screening for local kids groups and things.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I actually got a question into Giannis, and I talked to the cast and the stars in the film and the director, and you can see those interviews on my website today.
RyanJReviews.com. Another big icon. Now, this one I know about, Elvis. What'd you think?
Oh, yeah, me too. I just have to know first up front, did you see this movie?
I've been on so many tours over the past couple of weeks. And you know what I mean by that.
Yes, I love this film. I mean, first of all, I love Baz Luhrmann. Anything he directs, I love. And I love him because he did one of my favorite movies, which is called Moulin Rouge. And this movie is basically the same. It's just like he used a cookie cutter of Moulin Rouge and just stamped it right over Elvis. Wow. So it hits all the same beats. Visually, it looks just like Moulin Rouge. It's the same setup, the same flow. It has the same transitions, the same cinematography, the same kind of musical effects and things. And so I love that. I think that those devices and techniques for storytelling on screen are magic. And so this just makes the visual lushness of Elvis's life incredible. It's one of the most gloriously visual, beautiful biopics. And Austin Butler was so good in the role, like you feel like you're watching real footage of Elvis. And then Tom Hanks as the creepy, shady manager, Colonel, was just as great. They're great scene partners. Hanks reminded me a lot of the Harold Ziedler role in Moulin Rouge. And I think that this movie is as much about Elvis as it is a real American history lesson. I mean, it takes us back to a time, and without any context, without any lens or judgment of today, it puts you right in the middle of the time of what was going on there in Elvis' life and career. First of all, how the artist was controlled, similarly to how Judy Garland was controlled, and how that harmed him as hers did her, even though he was born a couple decades after. Also, in terms of just the cultural pressure in society and the division among Americans about how performance and, how like today we're talking about if drag queens could be bad for society. They're obviously not, but at the time they were talking about if Elvis, wiggling his hips could kill society, and there were white supremacist groups calling for they wanted him to be killed. They wanted him to be jailed, and this was a time where in the audience, there would be a fence down the middle where, black people in the audience had to be on one side and white people had to be on the other side. And those things not too far away in our history, it was just kind of shocking, for those of us who don't think of it on a daily basis, or have the privilege of not thinking it on a daily basis, I should say. It was very, very shocking to see that. And so I feel like it's such a good American history lesson, and also a beautiful tribute to Elvis. I mean, you feel so bad. He died at 42. What a tragic story. And so you cannot deny the man was incredibly talented and had great vision and style and impact and drive. He just had some bad advice, like a lot of creative people do.
Yeah, what I love about this is that, Ryan, I think that we are the final generation who actually lived out Elvis Presley. I mean, I remember that when news hit me of what was going on, there was a song out there that he had just released called Way O Down, and it's like, and it just changed everything when that happened, and because it was like that was our guy, because we watched him on black and white television. We watched, he was always a major part of my childhood.
Yeah, I mean, he was like the biggest real iconic superstar for rock. I mean, he introduced rock and roll to white America. That's one thing that the film glossed over a little bit. Like, it obviously showed that he grew up in an urban area and was very influenced and naturally liked the R&B sound and wanted to do rock and roll. So that seemed all very organic for him. But it did gloss over, and so for all that it did cover some controversies of his life, it didn't really talk about how some black artists felt that he had stolen. It showed that he did perform other artists' songs who didn't get it out to the mainstream. So he's credited with bringing that sound and maybe opening some doors that way, but not too much credit, because I don't know that he was giving credit to the writers of the songs that he was covering when black artists had previously recorded them. I'd have to do some more research there. But yes, this is insane, the time that we lived through and how soon we forget all of that history by just remembering the music or something else. So I feel like this movie is a really good reminder of where we were, how far we've come, to celebrate how far we've come, to recognize how far we've yet to go. But it's just a brilliant. I mean, Baz is one of those visionary auteurs of a director. So anything he does, I love, and Elvis is outstanding. I really want to see it again on the big screen. One of
the things that people don't understand is that before Elvis became Elvis, he was a struggling artist, and he played in Charlotte 52 times.
Wow.
And because I mean, Charlotte was just right over there. He was a truck driver. And that's the thing about it. He traveled around, and Charlotte was definitely one of the trucking capitals of the world. And in fact, we have a Carolina theater where Elvis used to play back in those early days that they're refurbishing it, because most of the history in there is because Elvis played there.
That's cool. That's very cool.
So, but yeah. Now, what about Black Phone? Everybody is saying, "Ooh, it's a scary movie of the summer. This is the greatest thing." What? I haven't seen that one yet.
I'd go ahead and say it's the scary movie of the summer. The Black Phone is directed by the same guy who did Sinister, also with Ethan Hawke, so they re-teamed together here. This director also did the first Doctor Strange movie, so it's a very talented director. And this is a spectacular movie. It's one of the best horror films I've seen. It's smart, it's spiritual, the acting is really great. All the kids in this movie are outstanding. These are the best kids, the best newcomers since the kids in TV's Stranger Things. Really good. And the film reminded me a little bit of the Conjuring movies that I really like, a little bit of M. Night Shyamalan's Signs, which is one of my favorite movies. It at times feels more like a thriller than an actual scary movie. I mean, there's some great jumps. They're very manipulated with editing, but great. So they're consistent, and so I appreciate those moments. And then this character that Ethan Hawke creates as the bad guy in the film is really frightful. He's a bad monster. I mean, he's up there with the likes of Hannibal Lecter, the clown from It. that sort of thing. So it's good. I mean, it didn't give me nightmares, which is okay, but like it was really smart, really stylish, really fun. Everyone that I saw it with enjoyed it, and so I'm saying see it, The Black Phone. If you like horror movies, this one's a good one.
One person told me, they said it kind of reminded them of The Joker. Did you feel that?
No.
You didn't feel it, okay?
No.
Yeah, because when I got that as a description, I'm going, well, do I want to see this? And but the way you talk about it, it's a must see. Yeah,
it's more fun and cool to me than that. It's not. The Joker was too real, too gritty, too a little bit too like I'm watching a movie that could have just been like this could happen. Everything you're seeing in this movie, you're not feeling like this could happen. It's a little bit. There's a little bit of a spirituality bent to it, or a supernatural kind of thing that makes it a little bit, more tempered.
Does this character become iconic, like a Jason or a Michael?
I think he could be. I mean, that mask, I wouldn't be surprised if we see that mask parading around the streets during Halloween time. So we'll see.
So what's going on RyanJReviews.com?
Just my interviews with Giannis Antetokounmpo and the cast and director of Rise today.
So who's that guy you're talking about? Giannis? Who is that again? No.
Exactly, right? I know. I'll get back to you. Just kidding. No, he's amazing.
See, it proves the one thing that I've always put so much energy into: share your story, or someone will write it for you. And because we need to start being listeners and hear the stories of all of these people, because I swear to God, it'll make us stronger as a community.
It only can.
Yeah. All right, it's time for that TV makeup, isn't it?
It is. I'm starting already.
Are you really? So what do you have to put on rouge and all that kind of stuff? I know nothing about makeup. I just know when I was on television.
You start with the dark circles around your eyes.
Yep.
And then smooth out any other discoloration on your face. You got to touch up your eyebrows a little bit, make your cheeks a little pink, and then and then you got to do all the powder so you don't shine like the top of the Empire State Building.
So you put on your own makeup then?
Oh yeah, in this market.
Oh, they wouldn't let me put on my makeup here. No. We're gonna put it on
a bigger city.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was like I'm going. Okay, I have to trust you, man.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, go put your makeup on.
It's all a thing.
Well, you be brilliant this weekend, okay, sir?
Oh, thank you so much. You too. I'll talk to you again soon.